Hey y'all, I'm back with another video this week. I know I skipped last week, but I've been so busy doing a little bit of interior decorating in my place. I can't wait to share that video with you. But I went out on a lunch to Boca de Inferno with some friends in the community, and I wanted to take y'all along with me. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like the video. Leave me a comment of any videos you would like me to make. And also remember that you can make a call with me if you have plans or you have questions or you just want to share your thoughts about moving abroad. Look in the link in my bio and you'll see that you can book a call with me. But yeah, we arrived at the restaurant, but our table, we were actually early. So the restaurant is called Mar do Inferno, and it's right next to Boca de Inferno. This is one of my favorite places, y'all. This is one of my favorite places to visit. And I couldn't wait till some of the other folks in the community could come with me. So I'm just going to kind of show y'all around. We decided before we were going to have lunch to kind of just take a look around at Boca de Inferno. Now, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Boca de Inferno, if anybody's ever come across it, but the name translates to like mouth of hell or something like that, or mouth at hell or something like that. And I'm giving y'all a tip right here is where if you come during a full moon, y'all, I have been, and I make it a habit to set my Alexa to walk down here and go for full moons, and the water is just shooting up in the air. I cannot explain the energy from like the waves and the full moon. But here they do cordon it off, like if it gets too crazy out and the waves get too crazy. But you can still see it if you just walk up. You just can't go all the way down to the mouth. And I love to walk up here on like a night and it's a full moon and you can see the water shooting up in the air before you even get to the mouth. That is the mouth. They didn't want to go all the way down because this isn't where I normally hang out. There's a spot where you can go further down where there's other tours. You can go further down, but this is as far as they wanted to go. And I can understand, some people are really, they still kind of antsy around water, but I love water. And that's one of the reasons I moved, y'all. I moved because in order for me to live on the coast in the United States, especially because I require a 3-bedroom, I have children, so I just couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford to live the way that I wanted to live in my retirement. So I moved here to this beautiful coastal town. And it's much more affordable than the United States. But yeah, everybody just decided to kind of hang out on a platform. You could tell the day is a little gloomy because I almost canceled the lunch because this is a lunch that I put together. I almost canceled it because it looked like it was going to rain. And I didn't want us to be walking out in the rain because we're supposed to walk after this and take a tour. I'll take y'all with me with that too. But I'm glad I didn't because the sun came out later. But when you walk in a restaurant, it has like this bar of seafood. And I'm going to tell you, initially, I wasn't that impressed. I wasn't that impressed because I've been to seafood restaurants here before. I got to film more of them. And this one was just so-so, even though this restaurant came highly recommended. This restaurant came highly recommended by a few different people. And the first introduction of the sea bar, I've seen better. Like I've seen fresher, I've seen larger lobsters and larger crabs because we are right next to the ocean. We're right next to the Atlantic. So yeah, that was my introduction to the entry. And then we went on back to our table. This is me kind of lagging behind to kind of get a little better view, but even felt like I was going through the kitchen to get to this is the terrace area. And I left a good review because I don't think it's right to come to anybody's country and live to anybody's country and act like a critic of anything. I'm just happy to be here. But in all honesty, I thought the view was beautiful and it did live up to its expectation. We had a waiter that was very familiar with Americans. Like, he had all kinds of American jokes and brushing off his shoulders, even a little Black American culture, because I guess he could tell we're Black Americans. Some of us were Caribbean at the table as well. And he was very good. That is the seafood bowl for two. And I'm giving y'all a tip. If you ever go to a restaurant in Portugal, you don't know what to get, just look on the menu. They normally always have something called like a seafood pot or a rice pot with seafood in it. It's always a pretty much safe bet. And me and my friend, we got that and we shared that seafood pot for two. Again, I have had other seafood pots that were a lot, like almost half the price of this one. And it had a lot more different types of varieties of seafood in it. I'm not complaining, but it definitely wasn't my best seafood pot. And a matter of fact, I'm going to take y'all on another video to a restaurant at the marina where it's my favorite seafood pots. He had veal, she had steak with prosciutto, which is ham on the top. And yeah, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, after that, we decided to go out on like a little walking tour. And one of my group members, his name is Nathan. He is so sweet. He gave us the best tour of Cascais. He gave us such a good tour, y'all. And I was just so surprised. Here we stopped at a restaurant. That's a hotel. He's explaining how to use the Too Good app. And that app is where basically after a restaurant has finished like their meals for the day or their buffet for the day, they actually sell the leftovers, fresh leftovers from that meal. And people either come pick it up or they have them delivered at a fraction of the cost of the original amount. I know y'all have Too Good in the United States too. And I think I'm going to use it here too, because he's always raving about how he gets like these Michelin star meals for like, you know, a couple of euros. So this is him again taking us to like behind one of these boutique hotels. You see that Faro? That's a boutique hotel. There's a lot of hotels here. I'm telling you, like in the Lisbon and Cascais area, and I'm sure it's like this in the Algarve, where you'll see hotels, they're not advertised. They're not on, I don't know how they stay booked, but they're not like on the net, like the typical net, like booking.com and hotels.com, none of that. But he took us back here to where the lighthouse is too. So that's another like attraction if you're coming to Cascais. There's a lighthouse here that people stop at, and I always walk by it, but I never really stopped in. And he was showing us how there's these lookout points and there's no tourists back here. You can come back here, sit, enjoy yourself. You can have lunch back here, and there's no tourists back here. This is on a Saturday, y'all. This is on a Saturday. Look how beautiful the view is. And again, no crowds. I just thought it was really nice for him to kind of take the time out and volunteer to show us some places that he kind of escapes from. And now these are my little spots too, because when I do my walks in either the morning or the evening, I now take this little off the beaten path that he showed us, you know. I just thought it was really, really nice of him to point it out. You know, speaking of off the beaten paths, I have learned since I've been in Portugal, next month will be a year since I've been here, since I've been living here, and I've learned to enjoy nature. Like, I used to be somebody who was like, really like somebody who loves shopping and kind of going out, you know, and things like that. I'm a solo person, so kind of solo dolo, but retail was really my fix. And I've found that has went away since I've been here. That has not went away completely, because you see that I'm doing like little, you know, things to my apartment, which is more like painting and wallpaper and stuff. But as far as needing to shop, I have really been satisfied in other ways. So when we went up to the top, we went past the Lighthouse Museum, which honestly, I didn't even know that little museum was there. The door was open, but I don't know if it's free or not. But when we walked by it, the door was open to it. and he brought us to the top floor of like these lookout points. And it was so beautiful and quiet in the middle of the day on a Saturday. And he was saying how this little area can be rented, like you can have like parties and functions here. I don't know how much, but I thought, wow, this is a really nice area to have like a birthday party or anniversary or just like a get together. So keep that in mind. But yeah, we hung out here. I'm gonna let y'all take a look. We kind of hung out here for a little while until we headed out. Just so you know, across the way right there, that is the marina. That is normally where like I kind of go eat, and there's places I like to visit over there. Like there's this custom perfume shop. I don't know if we're gonna pass it later, but we do walk over to the marina. I just want you to know what you were looking at. But Cascais is so beautiful, it's so beautiful. And to the left, you don't see it, but there's this beautiful park. It's called Park Michel Carmona, I think it is. But in this park, and I tried to get them to kind of cut through, but they wanted the long version of going home. But or going back to the train station. I was going home. But the park is so nice. It has like chickens and roosters walking around. It has peacocks. And it has like this bridge you can walk over where you can see all the turtles. I mean, lots and lots of turtles and beautiful fish. See this area right here? Normally when I walk over this area, I can see these blue silvery fish. They were not out today. I don't know why, because they normally are. You normally can see them really clearly. Next time I'll walk and I see them, I'm going to post them. And I hope y'all can tell me what they are. They're like a bright turquoise blue. And they're like silvery, like they reflect. They have like high reflection. And I don't know what kind of fish those are. But yeah, see, the sun was starting to come out by the time we got over to the marina. And another thing you need to know that Cascais is known as like the Monte Carlo of Portugal. This is where the rich of the rich come to vacation. Like even if they live like in other places, if they live in the Silver Coast or the Algarve, or even if they live in Lisbon, people come to Cascais to like vacation and to relax and to enjoy like the best of the best. And I gotta say, I feel like it lives up to its reputation. It lives up to like its reputation as the playground for the rich. With that being said, a lot of people ask me about Cascais. It's not inexpensive to live there. I just want you to know, like, Lisbon is expensive to live. And if you think Lisbon is expensive to live, Cascais is very expensive to live. But here, this is where he took us, and I never seen these before. He took us like kind of underground, and these are called the parking stores, because they turned this underground parking lot, and those barbershop chairs are actual gold. He pointed them out. It was closed because I think it's by appointment only, but he was pointing out that those are actual gold. And this is my speed right here. This is some textiles and things like that. But a lot of the stores were by appointment only, but these are called the parking stores. It's underground, and they took some space that was underground and just turned them into stores for the folks that are in the area, and some of the stores are dedicated specialty stores. Like this store is dedicated to just roses and wine. They don't sell anything else. It was another store like that, and I can't remember which one it was, but as we go through, I'll point out what I remember. Just the cleanest, most beautiful laundromat I've ever seen. But yeah, we're going around, and this is still the parking lot, but I can't wait to show you why we're walking through the parking lot so he can show us this. I'm not going to ruin the surprise for y'all. Okay, if y'all don't see, it's a luxury car dealership, like the actual dealers of these cars. And I'm trying to think of some of them. Y'all know, but I'm not all into cars, but every luxury car you could think of was down here. The dealers were down here. Later on, he showed us a place that builds yachts. So I just want to tell you that that's why they call this like the playground for the rich. People actually come here, they build their cars or get their cars built. This is where they shop for luxury brand cars. And it was like the whole half of the garage. But y'all don't ask me. I'm not like a big, I don't even drive. Look, I try to stick with the metro and the train. But this is, look at the beautiful cars they had. A lot of them were one of a kind, like you only could buy that version. I just thought it was interesting, not that I'll be like, oh my God, I wish I can own a Aston Martin. I don't really like driving like that, but isn't that beautiful? Isn't that gorgeous? To see them all kind of in one area. And then they had their own detail shop, of course. See that where it said Afro Shop? There's a lot of music here of a lot of different variety, especially Black American and African music. It's a lot of Caribbean music here. Just a lot of acceptance. This is the iPhone store. He walked me in here because I broke the screen. It's not even my actual screen on my phone. It's the cover. I put a cover on my phone. I broke it. He wanted me to get it replaced. But this is just us walking around to some of the restaurants in the marina. And I do hang out here like it's a pizzeria that I go to here. It's a place I love to get a seafood bowl upstairs. This is Caffeine. This is where we have our meetup sometime. And they have like brunch there. I was trying to see where she was pointing to because I'm trying to remember I'm pretty sure you're going to see where there's a yacht store and you actually come in and build your custom yacht. But the marina is a nice place to hang out, especially if there's going to be rain that day or the weather's going to be inclement weather. It's just a beautiful place to eat and get nice views at the same time. To me, it's one of those places where if anybody ever visits, I take them over here because it just never misses. And you have plenty of variety. You can get something high end if you want to eat high end, or you can get something like just a coffee, or you can get something like just a pizza. It's really nice. I can't wait to show y'all this next part. I'm thinking this is what it is. Yeah, look at this. Look at those cute little EV cars. It's not those. Those are more the luxury cars that he was pointing out downstairs. But we're in the vicinity of these cute little EV cars. Aren't they cute? This is my speed. That's all I was saying. They so cute. I don't know how you would fit anybody in it. The only person you could probably fit in is yourself and one other person. They really didn't have any cargo, but they're just as cute as they could be. They didn't really have too much information. I guess I could have used the scan bar to try to figure out. But I just think they're a cute little get-around car. Like you don't have anywhere to go. Just a step above like having a motorbike or something like that. So we decided we all wanted to take pictures in front of these cute little cars. And there's another one. I don't know if we captured it. I think it was either another red one. There it is. It's in the corner. Do you see it? It's like a little red one. I think they sold that one. That's why it wasn't out on display. But it was a beautiful day, y'all. I just wanted to share with you again. This cigar shop, I'm telling you, I don't know what I'm not a cigar, but I'm gonna tell you what, I smelled those cigars about a block before we got to that shop. That's the yacht store I was telling y'all about. You can actually go in there and they'll catalog you. And it kind of teased us too. Told us, you want to come in and build your yacht? And this is one of the stores I treat myself. So custom perfume scents, like you can go in there and you can make your own scent. Like you can pick out your own notes, and you can buy your own custom bottle and things like that. It's something that could be a treat for you if you're into that. But just the normal stuff, like they have a polo store, just like we do in the States. It's just a lot of little boutique stores, but they're high end. Okay, I know y'all can't see this, but this was like a couple $100,000 floor layout of a kitchen, and they had this custom lamp. Somebody explained it to like a custom Campbell soup lamp that was thousands of dollars. Can you imagine that? Somebody paying thousands of dollars for a Campbell soup lamp. And I pointed out these stairs, and y'all see them stairs? If you have mobility issues coming to Portugal in general, don't. I'm just telling you, if you want to know what are some of the recommendations, I recommend if you're somebody with mobility issues in any capacity, please don't do that to yourself in Portugal. They don't look at accessibility the same way that America does. Mostly everything has hundreds of stairs, and yes, do they have elevators? Yes, but a lot of the time they'll be down, and they'll be months before they'll be back up, and you'll just have to trek it up just decks and decks of stairs. I at one point I got another video I'm gonna release, and I just start capturing all the stairs that I had to walk up and down with groceries because there was no escalator working or no elevator, and they don't care. You cannot complain about it. It's just how it is. So they were preparing in this shot right here. They were preparing for an event this evening, a jazz event. That's another thing I keep saying. I love it here because I'm a lover of smooth jazz. I can literally walk down in the middle of the night. I can hear the best smooth jazz playing in the streets. I can hear Sade, all of that. This little theater that he pointed out right here, which was again off the beaten path, and he told me he went there and watched the show. He didn't understand a word of it, but he enjoyed it. It's been closed since COVID. They just opened it this week. It's been closed since the beginning of COVID. That's how long it takes other, smaller countries to bounce back from something like COVID. That's what it looks like if you have an Airbnb. They have to have these placards. Their Airbnbs have to be registered, and they have to have these clear placards on the outside. That's why I can't use. In the States, I usually use Airbnb to Airbnb my place while I travel, and that's usually how I get a travel budget by using my place. But now I'm using, for the first time, I'm going to Spain with my kids this summer, and I'm going to use where you swap your home because I cannot register my rental. He was pointing out this little Sicilian pizzeria that I walk by all the time, and I was wondering how it was, but I'm kind of somebody who sticks to what I really like, so I didn't really try it, but I am going to try it. It's this other place right here we're standing in front of called Bubbles and Bites. Now this was interesting. He told me this used to be a place where if you cook your own meals, that you could bring them to this market and they would sell it on your behalf. Like they would take a cut of the cost. But people would come here and buy homemade meals that were made in people's homes. I thought that was such a good idea. Look at that little dog just chilling. That's why I captured him. So this is us walking through on the way back, and he's pointing out like other restaurants that are really good. This is one of me and my children's hangout. Like you see, there's a Starbucks over here. Don't talk about us. We still go to Starbucks, even though we're outside of the country. And I do that for my kids mainly because it makes them feel some level of comfort being outside of the country. They still see familiar places. He was telling us this chicken place, y'all save it, Jardine dos Fragos. He was saying that this is the chicken place. Now we got another chicken place that we love going to. We call it the chicken place. But he was saying that don't compare nothing to this chicken place right here. And he was so convincing that they was wanting to order some chicken to take it with them. Like, well, I had time for that, but they wanted to stop. I almost couldn't convince them. They was getting ready to stop and order chicken, y'all. Thank you for joining me. I'll talk to y'all soon. See you soon. See you next week.